On show 473, the Honda E is open for orders, Tesla's big battery buy, and the possibilities of electric flight. Well, those stories and many more coming up on today's show. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. In fact, wherever you're listening around the world today, welcome along to EV News Daily. It's your Thursday, 16th of May edition. Well, my name is Martyn Lee, and I've been through every EV story that I can find today and picked out the very best ones to save you time. Thank you, as always, to myev.com for helping make this show. If you're in the USA, if you didn't know, there's one single website which you can go to if you're buying or selling or learning about EVs, or you want a click link through to the Inside EVs forum or something like that. The one website is myev.com. Well, a quick word of congratulations to one of the partners of this podcast, premium partner in fact, and he has been for a very, very long time. He's been a guest twice now on this show, and that is Phil Roberts from Electric Future. Now, they do really big commercial solar installs here in the UK, and he tweeted earlier today, big news for us here at Electric Future. They have made their own acquisition. Sun User is now part of the Electric Future family, adding 40 years of installing solar thermal and domestic PV to their portfolio. Over 15,000 installs now under their wings, and excited for the future. Electric Future is certainly getting bigger and stronger all the time. Congratulations to Phil and the team there. Thank you for your continued support of the podcast. I have to get you back on again soon sometimes. So I saw a tweet from Johnny Smith of Fully Charged fame, well, of many TV shows fame, actually, a great motoring journalist, and he was tweeting, maybe this was yesterday, and maybe I've just been a day late on getting this onto the podcast. It was a screenshot he tweeted of the colour that he'd chosen for the Honda E, otherwise known as the Honda Urban EV, that cute as a button little city car which he is so enamoured with. And the colour that he'd gone was for like a yellow, maybe like a lime green. I don't know, it looks different on every different screen, my phone and my computer that I look at it at, but it's now on offer to be reserved if you want to do that. Honda's first fully electric series model for the European market, the Honda E, as it's now named, can be reserved in Europe with immediate effect. Well, the reservation fee, which guarantees interested parties a place on the waiting list, is £800, says Electrive today. And Chris Randall writing there for the brilliant Electrive.com. Customers who have reserved the Honda E will be invited to their nearest dealer after the official order start in order to place their order and conclude the purchase contract. As far as the official data of the Honda E is concerned, it's only known that the range will be over 200 kilometres, according to the European WLTP test cycle. I'll put a link to it in the show notes if you want to have a look. I think the website is something like reserve.honda.co.uk. Not too many choices of colours, by the way. I had a little play earlier on the to see if I could reserve one for myself. Getting as far as not actually putting my credit card in. And there's 5 or 6 colours, but great news that they are moving forward with that. Of course, going to be a smaller battery. Of course, it's going to be a city car. It's that kind of size, but they say premium. Well, Tesla is in the news today. They announced the completion of their acquisition of the battery and supercapacitor company. They're called Maxwell Technologies. Now, this deal has been in the pipeline for a very long time. In fact, as a sidebar, I think either like the investor notes or there's like some of the financial data of Maxwell over the years has said that they have been working for a long time with an automotive partner, but they could never say who they were, non-disclosure, all that kind of stuff. And I mean, the smart money was they've been working with Tesla for a lot longer than we think Tesla have been interested in buying them. But it could be somebody else. They just could have great technology that Tesla want in-house. It's been on the cards since early February, and it's in line with the recent timeline given on the Q1 investor call to Tesla's investors. Maxwell's battery dry electrode manufacturing process has already been piloted by Tesla, and it's going to allow significant battery cost reductions and energy density improvements, writes Dr. Max Holland for Clean Technica. He's always my go-to. If I see he's written an article for Clean Technica, he's always my go-to for that inside knowledge on the technicals. You know it's going to be good. Tesla's current cell costs, we think, are around $100 per kilowatt hour. Elon said that they would get to that by the end of last year. And what are we in? Mid-May now. So you'd think that by now At cell level, down to $100 per kilowatt hour. There's been no, as far as I know, official update on what Elon said last year at an event. And at battery pack level, of course, you've got to add all the control electronics and stuff to it. The cost is higher, but at cell level, they're coming down all the time. Now, at the moment, there's approximately $3.5 billion in battery production costs a year. Around 70 kilowatt hours a vehicle, if you take that as the average, and 500,000 vehicles. Maxwell's dry battery Electrive technology makes from 10 to 20% cost reduction versus traditional manufacturing techniques. And that, 10 to 20% of any cost saving is always a good thing, but you do it on the scale that Tesla's doing it. And that's some huge news now. If you work out the overall cost to an EV, a couple of things could happen here. It could mean that Tesla can, firstly, increase their margins, which is always good for investors. It could mean they bring down the cost of their cars. Well, that could happen. They've just increased all of their cars by, is it $400 over the last 24 hours? Even the ones that are off menu, even the $35,000 Model 3, no longer on sale for that price. They've all had a little bump in price. And the statement that came with it was they're just adjusting their prices, as all automakers do all of the time. Another thing that could happen is that they could use this technology to go in their own direction. Now, they've had a long relationship with Panasonic, and it's one question that's being asked. There is no question of Tesla and Panasonic divorcing, because at Gigafactory 1 in Sparks, Nevada, that relationship is from my perspective, way too close. Panasonic make all the batteries in all Teslas. They have said, though, Tesla have said, Elon said, in order to hit the targets they want, particularly with the Chinese Gigafactory, they are going to have to talk to other battery suppliers. So you don't quite know where that relationship is heading, whether it's on stable ground or rocky ground or not. But interesting that Tesla has bought a battery technology company here. And, when you look at the way Tesla operate, they tend to like everything under their control. So, apart from actually, manufacturing the tyres they put on the car, many of the bits are it's all really vertically integrated. So, is there a time in the future, a long way down the road, when every battery that goes inside a Tesla is made by Tesla without any battery partners? It's, I can't see that, but it's a question that it's worth asking, right? I'll put a link to Clean Technica in the show notes. The idea of flying electric is really appealing, really intriguing, really interesting, isn't it? Lilium is the Munich-based startup developing a revolutionary on-demand air taxi service. And today, they revealed their new 5-seater air taxi. Now look, it's a prototype. It's not exactly about EVs, but I suppose it's an electric vehicle in a way. The unveiling of the new Lilium Jet came as the all-electric aircraft completed its maiden flight in the skies over Germany. I say it's maiden flight, there's a video online. It's a vertical takeoff, it goes up, it hovers like a drone, then it lands again. But look, if this is the first flight they've ever done with it, then it's a cause for celebration. Well, the full-scale, full-weight prototype is powered by 36 all-electric jet engines. It allows takeoff and landing vertically, and it achieves remarkably efficient horizontal flight, or cruising flight. The simplicity of the aircraft design, it's got no tail, no rudder, no propellers, no gearbox, one moving part, the engine. That not only contributes to the safety and affordability of the aircraft, it's also allowed the design team to focus their efforts on creating a really magical customer experience in the cabin, panoramic windows, gull-wing doors, top speed of 300 kilometres an hour, a range of 300 kilometres, and Lilium Jet is capable of completing much longer journeys than the majority of electric competitors in the aircraft space, in part thanks to the fixed-wing design of the aircraft. While drone-based aircraft consume much of their energy keeping the aircraft in the air, the jet, because it's a vertical takeoff, but then it moves through the air, it relies on lift generated by its fixed wing. It's going to require much less than 10% of its maximum power that it can put out when it's at flight crews. So the efficiency, comparable to the energy usage of an electric car over the same distance, means the aircraft wouldn't just be capable of connecting suburbs to city centres and airports to main train stations, it would deliver affordable, high-speed connections across entire regions. I'll put a link in the show notes. I was watching the video of this earlier, and it said, watch our first flight. And it was taking off from a little square of concrete. And I was like, well, where's the runway? I thought it was going to move forward, but no, it goes up and then like a Harrier jet, like if you're familiar with like a Harrier jump jet and vertical takeoff aircraft, just incredible. So congratulations to the team there. It's probably not going to be in service if it ever makes it into production. It'll be bought by someone, but absorbed into a bigger company, or maybe they'll make it on their own. It's just another sign about batteries making their way to so many different places. But how long will they last? Let's ask VW. Volkswagen says EV batteries in their cars will last the life of the car. In an announcement last month, Volkswagen joined Nissan and Tesla as the only automakers to explicitly warranty not just the batteries in its cars, but specifically how much life it expects them to retain. Well, Frank Blohm is the head of VW's Centre of Excellence in Battery Cells. He said in a marketing interview, the company expects the battery packs in its ID.3, the new car that we saw unveiled last week, to last the life of the car. And he was telling Green Car Reports. Batteries for the Audi e-tron Quattro, that's their first all-electric car from the group. That's the batteries in the e-tron Quattro, the 95 kilowatt-hour pack. That comes from LG Chem, the South Korean company LG Chem. Their South Korean rival, SK Innovation, which was just sued by LG Chem at the International Trade Commission, well, they're supplying batteries for VW's own cars in Europe and the US. So VW are sourcing them from all over the place. Well, SK Innovation's building a new battery factory in Hungary, actually, and in the US state of Georgia, and they're doing that to supply the batteries that VW needs. In China, VW is going to rely, though, on local batteries from CATL. Moving on to Tesla's Superchargers now, and the Supercharger V3 production is underway. If you have a Model 3, that'll interest you because you get those 250 kilowatt charge speeds. Goodness, my car charges at 22. Wow. The production's underway, but the production's underway at Gigafactory 2, and that's raised a few eyebrows. What is Gigafactory 2? We talk about Giga 1, Sparks, Nevada, where the batteries are made, and they ship those packs to Fremont, California, and stick them under the car. I'm sure with some more finesse than as I just portrayed, stick them under the car. And then Gigafactory 3 we talk about all the time because it's this massive building that's gone up so quickly in China. But what about the forgotten one in the middle, number 2? It's in Buffalo, New York, and it now includes production facilities for the new V3 Supercharger cabinets and other electrical components for power walls and power packs, according to Inside EVs. Well, according to media reports today, Tesla have decided to add new products to Gigafactory 2 because the solar business is slumping to a fraction of the installed capacity of what they could be making. The solar roof hasn't reached volume scale yet. I mean, the solar roof looks amazing, but I just don't know what state of completion it's at. That's the one where they have the little roof tiles. It looks like a normal roof, but each little tile's a solar panel. Looks amazing. I know Elon's a huge fan of it, but when do we get it? It needs more development and tests, they say. Low sales of the standard solar panels are forcing Panasonic to sell the great majority of solar cells actually to foreign buyers. So Tesla actually got a really good deal from the state of New York to put the factory there. One of the conditions is they're required to increase the number of employees to about 1,500 by the end of next April. It seems the production of non-solar products is the only way they're actually going to meet those requirements. Well, currently the number of Tesla and Panasonic employees is about 730. About 330 of those are Tesla. That's above the required 500 by the end of April 2019. I'll pop a link to Inside EVs in the show notes if you want to read more. Okay, let's get on to our question of the week this week. And it's one that's really divided people. I think when I read them out on Sunday, I'm actually just going to have to start off with all the hardware arguments and then move on to the software, or vice versa. Because the question is this: if you're buying a car, if you're buying an EV, what's more important? Getting the hardware right or the software? Because EVs are essentially one or the other, or both, sometimes neither, but what have you got to get right, hardware or software? And you can't sit on the fence. It's the only rule this week. You can't say, I think it's both, because the obvious answer is both have got to be right. But what's more important? Email me. hello@evnewsdaily.com is my email address. That's hello@evnewsdaily.com, or leave a comment on Facebook and YouTube. Well, thank you very much to 212 patrons of the podcast who keep me going. It's a really fascinating way for individuals to support creators. It's a bit like Kickstarter, but kind of ongoing. It's Patreon, patreon.com/evnewsdaily. And you can see the list of supporters in every single show notes from exec producer level and above that I put out every single day. Well, there are 472 previous shows. You can download those for free online right now, and the archive will be online as long as we stay on Patreon. And the new shows, well, you get those first and free and automatically if you hit the subscribe button on your podcast app. Maybe this is the first time you're listening. You always hear people say, subscribe. Well, that's why, so that the podcasts arrive automatically. Come and say hi on the socials by searching EV News Daily. In the meantime, have a wonderful day. I'll catch you tomorrow, and remember, there's no such thing as a self-charging hybrid.